Good morning, students. Good morning to all. Okay, so let us start today's discussion. So yesterday we had done three types of cost. We started with total fixed cost, then we with total variable cost, and we ended up with total cost, which is just the summation of total fixed cost and total variable cost. Today we'll start with average fixed cost now. Okay, we'll have to, I told you yesterday also that all the notes should be there in your copy and you will have to write the formula as well because there will be sums from this portion. So let us see what is average fixed cost. Average fixed cost refers to the per unit fixed costs of production. So now that you know what is the meaning of fixed cost, yesterday we had a elaborate discussion on the definition of fixed cost. So now that you know the fixed cost, so you can easily calculate the average fixed cost if you know the number of units being produced or number of units of production. Okay, so that if you divide that total output that you're producing or the number of units that you have produced, divide the total fixed cost by that number of units of production, you get the average fixed cost. In other words, average fixed cost implies the fixed cost of production divided by the quantity of output produced. It is very simple. If you understood the definition of fixed cost, then you will have to just memorize the mathematical formulation of the average fixed cost, which is total fixed cost divided by output. TFC is constant as production increases. Right, now we know that the TFC is a constant amount, right? As the production increases, TFC does not increase. It is a fixed cost, right? So if AFC's formula is TFC divided by output, then that output is going to fluctuate. Output is going to say it is, if it is increasing, if output is increasing, we are going towards the x-axis on the right hand side, then what will happen to the average fixed cost? It will increase or decrease. Tell me. Say average fixed cost formula is total fixed cost divided by output. Suppose output is increasing, then what will happen to the average fixed cost? It will decrease or it will increase? Tell me. One who knows the answer, unmute and tell me. You can see on your screen the formula of average fixed cost, and if I am saying that suppose output is increasing, then what will happen to average fixed cost? Will it increase or will it decrease?
Ma'am, decrease.
It will decrease because very good, because this output is in the denominator, right? If it is increasing, then the function, that is the average fixed cost, that will decrease. So how will the average fixed cost curve look like? It will be a downward sloping because it is decreasing, right? Now I'll take you to the total fixed cost curve. It was a straight line. See, it was a straight line. It was a straight line because it was same. Whatever is the total output, it does not change. It remains same. But average fixed cost, since in the denominator there is output amount and output is constantly increasing, you are going towards the right hand side on the x-axis. That means average fixed cost will decrease. That is why it will have a downward sloping motion. In the figure, AFC curve is shown as a declining curve which never touches the horizontal axis. It will never touch the horizontal axis. Why? Because your output you cannot produce till infinity, right? Even if you go on producing, there will be certain amount of fixed cost. It will not be zero, right? It will not be zero, or it will not be exactly equal to the quantity. So it will have some value. Whatever is the amount of output you are producing, it will have some value. Also output cannot be zero. You will produce some output, right? So if you keep on producing output, the average fixed cost is also going to have a value. That is why it will never touch the horizontal axis. It will become so, it will come so near to horizontal axis, but it will not touch. It will never touch the horizontal axis. So this is because fixed cost can never be zero, right? The curve is also called rectangular hyperbola, which represents that total fixed cost remains same at all the levels. The curve is also known as rectangular hyperbola. If you remember geometry in your school level, the rectangular hyperbola almost looks like this, right? So the curve, since it is looking like that, so it is also called rectangular hyperbola, and it indicates in economical interpretation that the total fixed cost will remain same at all the levels. That means whatever is the amount of production, whatever is the value of Q, the total fixed cost will remain the same. So that was average fixed cost. You should draw this graph in your copy. At the same time, you will write the formula as well as the definition of average fixed cost. Okay. That will be your weekend task for this week. Tomorrow I'll take class, then Saturday, Sunday, you will have this task. You will finish off this note on the different types of cost. And let's see if we can do something else tomorrow also, then you will have an addition on that. Okay, you have a workshop, no? From 30th November. What is the timing? Do you know the timing? It has been postponed to 30th November. What is the timing? You don't know?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So I think yeah, after class maybe, or let's see. Anyway, so your weekend task will be to write down the notes on all these different types of costs. Okay. So that was average fixed cost. Now let us quickly move on to average variable cost. What does it refer? It refers to the per unit variable cost of production. I want to take you back for once to the total variable cost curve. This was our total variable cost curve, right? This was our total variable cost curve. So now from that we will have to derive the average variable cost curve. So it refers to the per unit variable cost of production. It implies organization's variable costs divided by the quantity of output produced. Just like average fixed cost, we divided the total fixed cost by the quantity produced. Similarly, here also, once we get the total variable cost value, we will divide that by the output or the number of units being produced, and we will get the average variable cost value. Now, what happens to the average variable cost? Initially, average variable cost decreases as output increases. After a certain point of time, average variable cost increases with respect to the increase in output. So the average variable cost will look like this one. You see, it looks like this one because it has a practical implication. You see, when you increase the number of production, then at the same time you will have to also increase the variable cost, because variable cost is something which is directly related to the production unit, isn't it? So till a certain point it will decrease, because maybe you are not increasing the variable cost to certain degree. You have installed the factory and you were ready to produce certain amount of goods, and you had already incurred that amount of variable cost. So till that point, the average variable cost curve will decrease, because till that point it was you had already invested and you were just increasing a bit. You were just increasing the total variable cost a bit, but with the increase in the output beyond that level, your total variable cost will also increase, because with the since you are producing more, your variable expenses should also be more. So after reaching that point, it will take a turn and average variable cost will also start to increase. So remember this graph, that average variable cost curve first decreases as output increase, but it will reach a certain point of time, and after that point of time it will increase with respect to increase in output. Okay, because both will increase, output as well as variable cost, they will keep on increasing. That is why here average variable cost curve will also take a turn and will start to increase after reaching that point of time. Thus it is a U-shaped curve as shown in the figure. You should draw the curve also properly in your copy. Almost U, it's not a proper U shape, but it is almost a U-shaped curve where it indicates that the average variable cost first decreases with the increase in output, but reaching a certain point it takes a turn and start to increase with the increase in output. Number 6 is average cost. Just like average fixed cost, average variable cost, also average cost can be calculated. What we do, we just divide the total cost by output. And what is total cost? Total cost is the summation of fixed cost and variable cost. So thus, your average cost will also be equal to the sum of average fixed cost and average variable cost. Okay. If any doubt, you please unmute and ask, okay? So average cost is calculated as AC equals to TC, that is total cost, divided by output. Since TC is equals to fixed cost and variable cost, thus average cost is also equal to the sum of average fixed cost and average variable cost. Average cost curve is also U-shaped curve, as average cost initially decreases when output increases and then increases when output increases. Just like if you remember yesterday we had seen, see, I'll take you back, the average total cost curve has a resemblance to the total variable cost curve, right? But it doesn't start from the origin. The total cost start from the point where the fixed cost is starting. So similar to that concept, the average cost also has a resemblance to the average variable cost. See, it almost looks same, but it will start a little higher because average fixed cost is also present in average cost. So AC curve or average cost curve is also U-shaped, as average cost initially decreases when output increases and then increases when output increases. Okay, so you see, if you draw all the three curves in a single diagram, that is how it will look like. Average fixed cost will have a downward sloping motion. The average variable cost will look like a U shape, and also average cost look the same, but it starts from a little higher point. So that's it, average cost. Till now, how many curves we have done? We have done 6 curves. What are those? One of you unmute and tell me, what are the 6 types of curves we have done till today? Yesterday and today, how many curves we did and name them? Unmute and tell me. Who will tell me? Unmute and tell. Yes, Saurav, you can use the books also for drawing the diagram and the formula if you have it. Who will answer? What are the curves that we have done till today? Himani, you want to answer? Are you speaking? I can't hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Tell me, what are the curves?
Average cost curve, average fixed cost curve, and average variable cost curve.
And yesterday?
Yesterday we did total cost, total variable cost, total fixed cost.
Okay, very good.
Thank you, ma'am.
So 6 curves we have done till today. And now we will do another type of curve which is very, very important. It is called marginal cost curve. Okay. What does it refer to? It refers to the addition to the total cost for producing an additional unit of the product. Whenever the term marginal will be used, you will have to understand it is a concept related to the production of an additional unit of the product. Okay. How will you define it? There is a mistake in the printing, in the typed thing. It should be a minus. Okay. In your screen, you can see the formula. It is MC equals to TCN equals to, it is written. It won't be equals to, it is going to be a minus. Okay. MC equals to TC minus TCN minus 1. Okay. So marginal cost refers to the addition to the total cost for producing an additional unit of the product. So what is the addition to the total cost for producing the additional unit? Additional unit means suppose you are producing 15 units and it has a total cost value. So when you will produce 16 units, say now you will produce 16 units. So how much increase in total cost has occurred when you were producing 15 and now you have moved on to 16 units? So how will you put it in a formula? 16 units, total cost of the 16 units minus total cost of the 15 units. Okay, so this is an addition to the total cost for producing that one extra unit from 15 to 16, one extra unit you are producing. So that additional to the total cost is nothing but your marginal cost. Remember this formula, memorize this formula, okay? It should be a minus. Again, I'm telling you the formula is MC, that is marginal cost, equals to TCN, that is total cost for producing N number of products, minus total cost N minus 1, that is N minus 1 means just the product just before the N product. That is, if N is 16, N minus 1 will be 15. Okay. So total cost of N minus total cost of N minus 1. Where N is what? N is the number of units being produced. Along with this formula, another formula can also be used. It is called MC equals to del TC divided by del output. That is change in total cost divided by change in output. Okay. Both this formula will be used for solving the sums. So you have to memorize both this formula. First formula is MC equals to TCN minus TCN minus 1. And the second formula is MC equals to del TC divided by del output. That means difference in the total cost divided by difference in the output or change. You can also mention del as change. Now, what will be the shape of this MC curve? MC curve is also a U-shaped curve, as marginal cost initially decreases as output increases and afterwards rises as output increases. This is because total cost increases at decreasing rate and then increases at increasing rate. So, since marginal cost is directly related to total cost, so it has to resemble the shape of the total cost. So total cost was first decreasing, then increasing. Similarly, marginal cost curve will also look something similar. You see, this is the margin. If you can see my arrow, look at the diagram. The last curve, which has been drawn from the bottom, and it is going towards the right. It is also U-shaped. If you increase it to this level, if you increase the curve in the left hand side, upward left hand side, then it will also look like a U shape. So since marginal cost is related to total cost and total cost first increases at a decreasing rate, that means it decreases with the increase in output. Then it reaches a certain level and then it increases. So similarly, marginal cost curve will also have a same type of movement. Okay, so you will draw this diagram again in your copy. Now see, this is an example. See, Let us learn the aforementioned cost curve concepts numerically with the help of this table. See, now listen to me carefully, okay? Units of output are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like that, okay? And total fixed cost has to be given to you. Otherwise, you will not be able to calculate total fixed cost. If not total fixed cost directly, still the heads of cost which are unavoidable, those will be given to you, and you'll have to add those and then find out the total fixed cost. Or in some sums, you will see that the total fixed cost is directly given to you. So here in this problem, in this example, total fixed cost is mentioned as 30. So, and total variable cost, it has to be certain, it should also be given in the form of per unit cost. Okay, so I think it was 10, 18. Okay, they have, I think they have directly calculated. Okay, if sometimes it will be given to you, or sometimes a fraction will be given to you. Say total variable cost is 2 times the number of units, or say total variable cost is rupees 10 per unit. Like that, it will be given and it will be related to the number of units, and depending on your information, you will have to calculate the total variable cost. Okay, we'll do the sums, then you will understand that how things will be given to you. For now, let us see that total variable costs are these ones: 10, 18, then 24, then 32, then 50, then 72. These are all your total variable cost. So total cost we can calculate. We will add this second and the third column. So we will get total cost. By adding total fixed cost and total variable cost, we will get the total cost. Then we will calculate average fixed cost. We know the formula. Formula is total fixed cost divided by number of output. So when it is 0, it will be dash. That is null and void, because now when number of units is 0, so there won't be any. It is unnecessary to calculate the average costs. Okay. Although it is necessary to calculate the total cost, but it is unnecessary to calculate the average cost. It will be of no use. So we will not calculate that. Starting from the second row, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, till that we will calculate by using the formula total fixed cost divided by output. Output is given, total fixed costs are given, so you will calculate average fixed cost. Similarly, you will calculate average variable cost. Total variable costs are known to you and you know the output, so you will divide the total variable cost by output and you get the average variable cost. Similarly, you will get the average cost, you will add average fixed cost and average variable cost. Thus, you will get the average cost. And you will, how to calculate the marginal cost? Marginal cost will be calculated by looking at the total cost column. Total cost column. So listen to me carefully, okay? For the number of units, when it was 1, it will be what? It will be 40 minus 30. Look at the fourth column. Total cost you will have to see. Marginal cost means what? Total cost of that unit minus total cost of the previous unit, right? So if you're calculating for 1 unit, then it should be 40 minus 30. Next, come to the 2 units of product. It should be what? It should be 48 minus 40. So 8. Then you come to the next one, that is 3 units of products. It was 54 for the present unit minus 48. That is total cost for the previous unit. So 54 minus 48 is 6. Like that, you will calculate for the four number of units of product. It was 62 minus 54. So it will be 8 again. Like that, you will have to calculate. Okay. When you will do the sum, it will be easier for you to understand better. So we will do it when you take up the sums. Now quickly, I will take your attendance and you can leave and join the next class. Just hold on for a while. Okay. Yes, please respond. Abhay,
Present, ma'am.
Aditya, Alsaba, Aman, Aman Sharma, Ananta,
Green Miss.
Angela,
Present, ma'am.
Anish, Anisha,
Present, ma'am.
Ankit, Anmol,
Present, ma'am.
Anmol Lama, Bhavesh, Bikash,
Present, ma'am.
Bishwadeep, Charu, Chirag, Deepika, Girish, Himani,
Present, ma'am.
Jaya, Kashish, Meghna,
Yes,
Mehul,
ma'am.
Parveen,
Present, ma'am.
Muskan Agarwal, Muskan Agarwal, 59. Neha, Nikhil, Nishita, Nupur, Piyush,
Present, ma'am.
Present, ma'am.
Present, ma'am.
Prageshwar, Prashant,
Present, ma'am.
Prashant, Preeti,
Present, ma'am.
Poonam,
Yes, ma'am.
Ronak, Ravi, Riyant, Riya Lama, Roshan, Rohan,
Ma'am,
Ronak.
I'm present.
Who is this?
Ma'am, Ravi.
Ravi. Okay. Sahil, Shama, Srishti, Sneha.
Ma'am, I am present.
Who is this?
Srishti.
Okay. Sneha, Saurabh,
Present, ma'am.
Saurabh Agarwal, Srishti, Tamang, Suhana,
Yes, ma'am.
Sujit,
Yes, ma'am.
Sydney, Swati,
Present, miss.
Swayam, Tanya, Yash, Yashika, Shreya.
Ma'am.
Yes, who is this?
Ma'am, Shreya's Gupta call got disconnected.
Okay. And who are you?
Ma'am, Himani.
Himani. Okay, fine. All right. So done. You can join the next class. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Bye bye.